Hello, good morning, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I've just woken up and um, I don't know. I'm just contemplating on what to talk about today, but I just give it a try that I wake up and maybe say what could cross my mind today. So mhm, I'm looking at uh, I'm looking at uh, the I'm looking at politics lately. I'm looking at the state of the nation. I'm looking at the youth with unemployment. I'm looking at the vision board, thing, and I'm looking at life lately and how how you know it has been lately for me personally. And I don't know what happens when you advance in age as compared to the past years, and you just feel a shift of a in your mind. You feel like you're growing lately. There are things you're not considering as important as they used to be, maybe back in 2020 and years like that. I don't know. I'm appreciating the fact that I'm seeing more sense in making New Year's resolutions and adhering to them. Going by my vision board and wanting to just grow, wanting to see myself grow and progress in everything that I find to do. I'm finding it so uncomfortable to be fixated and to be what does it cocooned and to be stagnated. I'm really appreciating and to see and to want to see myself grow in everything that I do. And I don't know, I think it's a thing about, you know, age advancement. It's a thing about adulting and maturing and, wanting to feel uncomfortable about where you are and wanting to see yourself advance. And, I think God has a way of just making your mind shift and has a way to just awaken you and make you, wanna stay woke. So, this this morning I'm waking up. I don't know. I have no topic in mind specifically, but in terms of life and advancement, I'm looking at just being employed as not being an achievement. I'm looking at what if people should be, maybe everybody should consider it as a thing to have something other than what they're doing professionally. Yesterday night I was just watching something on YouTube, and there was this discussion about making money, and it was like the podcasters there were like, in every career there is something about every career. There is something common about every career, that there is a business in every career. Whether you're a doctor, whether you're a teacher, whether you're a lawyer, there is everything a business about in every profession. There is the business of in every there is a business aspect in every profession. A teacher can, for instance, start a school. There are many directors around. There are directors, there are a group of schools that come together, and an idea like that. And there are doctors that start their own medical facilities. The pharmacists that open up their own chemists. I've come to realize that there should be something you think about, apart from, just being employed and being there as Dr. So and so or teacher so and so. And appreciating that. I'm appreciating learning. I'm appreciating the knowledge. I'm appreciating the, getting to know this and that. The challenge is worth it. So it gave me uncomfortable thoughts, and I started looking at my career, and I started to think, I started becoming uncomfortable at just going and getting employed as so and so who did this and that. I started looking at things differently. Nowadays, I'm looking at things differently. I'm looking at things with a, I'm looking at things and interpreting them in 3 dimension. I want to see the different facet of everything. I want to see the different, aspect of everything. And it's worth it. It's giving. I'm looking at things, and I don't just want to see things ordinarily. And I think it's worthwhile. It's worthwhile for a turn of events that way. And it's it's challenging, and it's promising in any way. So I've also been looking at priority. What are my priorities? Are there shifts in terms of, what I used to put as priorities, set as priorities, versus now? And to the word, I'm looking at things that should make more sense to prioritize than others. There are things I'm now not considering as important. Nowadays I'm not like, if so and so doesn't call for long, they're my enemies. No, that is kind of immature, and it's just time wasting. It's for as long as I call this person when need arises and we pick and we talk, I find it fulfilling, and that there shouldn't be any blame in maybe a friend of mine not having to call me for so long. It doesn't prove, everybody is trying to go through to fix their lives, and come to think of it, the much I want to work on myself is the much somebody else also wants to work on themselves, and there is no harm in not calling someone for so long, for as long as you're not enemies. So reading more, I'm appreciating knowledge and different kinds of books. I'm appreciating, getting to read more of, I love inspirational books. I love books about character, how to interact with people, emotional intelligence, investment, and money making habits, such like how to grow, how to get to interact with people, how to let people just be. There is this particular book written by somebody male from the US, and this lady, the title of the book is Let Them. And in that book, this lady is trying to just reinforce what I've just mentioned some few minutes ago, that in the course of interacting with people, and in the course of living with people, of course, you should have a mental allowance of allowing people to just be themselves, allowing people to just be them. The book is called Let Them, and in that particular book, she says, don't be fixated or have, expectations of how people should treat you or how people should behave around you. Let people just be who they want to be in their skin. just let them. If you're not, maybe if you're not getting along with them, just let them. Everybody is different, and people are trying to find themselves. Some people are trying to find themselves. The book, you know, highlights the fact that you should just allow people to let them be themselves, and it was quite impressive for me to, get to that knowledge and to get to the fact that everybody should just be allowed to be them. Everybody should be let to do their own things. There shouldn't be blame of the way so and so is introverted or extroverted, or more outgoing or not, or being mean. There are even people who are on the negative aspect. They could be mean or limiting. People are just not encouraging to be around, maybe. That we should just let people be who they are. And I'm getting to I've appreciated that. Which other book have I learned lately? Yeah, have I read lately? There is a book called how how to stop worrying and start living. And in this particular book, the writer states how they used to be sick, like they would be diagnosed of worrying related illnesses and complications whenever they would worry about their lives, or worry about finances, or worry about their families. And he says there was this particular time that he went to a hospital and he was so sure he's gonna be told maybe his heart is not in a normal racing rate. The has no normal pulse rate, and it was exactly that. And it turned out that the doctor himself advised him to just stop worrying about his life lately, or he told him to stop worrying about his life, his profession, or anything that could be causing him to worry. And turns out this particular person went and did an introspection on himself. And introspection is basically like looking into yourself and trying to analyze what's causing me the worry. How do I stop the worry? Why am I worrying? And at the end of the day, he realized he's actually putting so much on himself. He's actually, in fact, worrying about things that were 5 years ahead of himself. And he came to realize he was loading him, unconsciously putting so much on yourself that wasn't even enough that wasn't even warranted for that particular day. You are living today but worrying about tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. That is what he was saying. And he in fact dug even into the scriptures and got to just research on what God has to say about with regard to worry. And he came across the scripture, the common scripture in Matthew, in Matthew, that says you should not worry about tomorrow. If God can take care of the birds of the air, then don't you think you're much more important than those birds? So why would you worry when in real sense you can't even add any small unit of your life to your life when you worry? So he came, and it made sense to him that even God himself does not want us to worry about anything. So that particular author says he came to a point of taking a day at a time, handling the day the way it came, dealing with a day's trouble instead of dealing with a week's troubles, a week's time troubles. And he came to appreciate the fact that, you know, dealing with the day's trouble, you know, just focusing on what I need to do, what you need to do today is kinda it later on became therapeutic that way. You know, he just realized that he started healing. He started offloading himself of the worries, and when he went back for to the doctor for review, it turned out that indeed his heart pulse rate was good, the mental state was good, the mental shift was, you know, awesome. And it actually turns out that there are illnesses that are self-imposed, illnesses or complications that come out of one being worried about nothing, worried about something that could not be. You know, worry is basically investing your emotions into something you think is bound to happen, and at times it never even happens. It's just that you are unconsciously, you know, trying to get ahead of and put yourself, impose yourself, put your mind in so much it shouldn't be handling at that particular time. For instance, people worry for things that, you know, they get to later and they realize it wasn't even worth the worry. But what had happened now to your maybe to yourself, or you realize you had worried to an extent you wouldn't even sleep. You know, insomnia is also a sign of too much worry. Insomnia, and some people even lose appetite. There is so much wind where I stay, the gates are just banging anyway. And it turns out having to just avoid worrying, having to just handle a day's troubles at a time eliminates toxicity, eliminates illnesses from your body, prevents you from having your heart beat abnormally, and it's worth it. It's worth it. Check on your mental. Have yourself first. Yeah. Avoid a lot of pressure here. This pressure that's warranted, pressure that's maybe in office and you know you have to meet your deadlines and that's normal. But the extra pressure we put ourselves in, and we'll be like, oh, I should be here. I need to be like them. I need to be driving like her. That is too much. Handle your life goals realistically. So, what else? Today I've been so much of an advice. I've just woken up and I felt like, what can I talk about? And what else? This thing about health. There's also these things I'm watching and the books I'm reading about health, you know, with regard to dieting, fitness, what else? Just the general healthy living aspect. And I realize, even myself, I'm not really keen on my healthy living aspects of life. And there is a documentary I watched, and in this particular documentary, this person who was documenting was saying, you may not need to be so fat before you start thinking of a fitness program. You may be as slim can be, but still develop heart conditions because of fat accumulation around your heart. And I was like, I started looking at myself differently. I am personally not a chubby chick, but I started seeing the sense of it because, going back to my biology, everybody, every living thing, every living human being should actually exercise, should actually keep their cholesterol in check. There was this friend of mine from Nairobi, and come to think of it, a regular medical examination is also a good thing to do, because this friend of mine and the husband, they used to go for regular medical checkup every year, and they were saying it doesn't matter, you shouldn't be sick before you go see a doctor. So they used to go, and on this particular time when they went, the doctor gave an okay for my friend's husband, but when it was her turn, the doctor was like, no, you come. Oh, they were, by the way, they were good when they were going to see the doctor. Everybody was feeling good. Everybody was, they were even feeling like there's nothing they were going to be diagnosed of. Their sugar levels, they were going to have it as, a thumbs up thing. But the doctor was just like, hey, madam, ebu, baki. It was, I think, the lab person. So he was like, madam, ebu enda uona daktari. And she freaked out at first. She freaked out, and when she went in, the doctor was like, your cholesterol level in your blood is so high. And she was like, okay, there's something. Then she was aware there's something called cholesterol. And from there, she started viewing life so differently, because she was feeling so energetic. She was feeling so, she would drive, she would go to work, no headaches, no palpitations, no anxieties. But this doctor is saying there's so much cholesterol in her blood. And she was taken aback. She was just like, oh my God, you can be feeling healthy and considering yourself healthy, but based on medical reports, you could be dying. Cholesterol is actually dangerous in your system. It's not good. It's dangerous in your system. And she was advised on how to diet. She was advised on fitness. She was advised on more regular checkup. And that is when it hit me that even the food you eat, there should be choice of the amount of sugars. There should be choice of getting to eat less processed food, because something like just one piece of sausage contains like 200 calories, and 200 calories, getting to burn 200 calories, it's work. And the danger of it is that some people eat 3 sausages and they drive to the office and have to spend the rest of the day seated on that laptop or on that office desktop. From there, you're driving home, having not burnt those calories at all by exercising, or maybe, and there's a danger in that. I I have seen it's wise enough to set aside time for fitness, time for exercise. For instance, there's a neighbor of mine in a building just near where I stay, and this man, this man seems to be so woke about the physical and fitness, healthy benefits of it. And this particular guy, every evening when I'm going to maybe to get my groceries, I meet this guy in at around 6:30. They're in their sport shoes with a short and a t-shirt, and they are running around, and it's somebody who could be even 50 or 60. It's an older Mzee. It's not a person my age. And I just came to realize there are people who are woke about this journey. There are people who are aware of the fact that they need to keep their fitness in check, and it's worth it, especially to stay around people who are literate about things that I'm telling you now. It's nice, it's giving, and I think it's normally better to avoid than to treat. It's better to stay fit than to work on your weight loss journey. It's better to have those medical checkups than to go one day and get to be hospitalized with a 6-figure hospital bill. It's worth it. And realized loving yourself should surpass taking yourself out for coffee and your favorite drinks and having to eat nyama choma with friends. Loving yourself should also include going for those medical checkups, regular medical checkups. Loving yourself should also entail being choosy about what you eat. It's not everything that should come in the office. Sausages are there. You're serving yourself everything just because you don't, you're serving yourself everything. It's loving yourself means being watchful of what you take into the body. Even if the vegetables are not as me, I don't love vegetables so late. The only vegetables I like and I normally crave for maybe kales, sukuma wiki type of vegetables. I don't know. I've started to really avoid eating, with just a simple reason of they are never tasting good in the mouth. But come to think of it, those things that don't even taste good in the mouth are the things that are healthy and have the most nutritional value in terms of these things, processed foods. But I think I'm growing. Eating less of processed foods. Kwanza, in terms of the fact that I stay out of Nairobi nowadays, I embrace eating what the community brings just fresh from the farm, other than having to eat Indomie for supper, spaghetti for lunch. Eating less processed foods, and I see myself more energetic. I see my brain more, active, and I think it's worth it. Having to feed yourself more on the natural, it is rewarding. It is quite rewarding. And yeah, somebody else was saying, I have so much of somebody's stories in my mouth, but actually I don't know if I read it somewhere or I was watching somewhere, but also meat, the beef, pork, they were saying that is dead meat, food. They considered it dead food because this is food that is actually from something that was killed first. So they were saying there is a reason as to why a chimpanzee, it's a wild animal. There is a reason as to why that particular animal has 3 times the strength of a man. A chimpanzee doesn't eat any dead animal. It feeds on the fruits, vegetables, it feeds on fresh things. And this particular writer was saying there are only 2 kind of foods that he knows. There is live food and there is live food and there is dead food. So he was saying beef is nyama, and the way I'm a lover of dead food. So he was saying beef and meat, just to be precise, meat from animals or birds is considered dead food. But this blended juice, maybe from fruits and vegetables, these fruits themselves, having to just wash a fruit, those are live foods. And he said, if you want to even prolong your life, feed on live foods, not dead food. Dead food has died. So feed more and feed on live food, because there is a reason as to why a chimpanzee that feeds on live foods has 3 times, imagine 3 times the strength of an average man. So that is that. I think looking at life is so wide, and I think if you compromise on anything, life will always your health will always communicate. If you compromise on what you take in, if you compromise on the amounts of sugars you take into the body, very soon your body will communicate. And I really would feel if my body communicated negatively, just because I compromised on my take-ins. It is good to be aware. It is good to. There's another thing of just being educated about it, but not implementing. So I think implementation is key. In my small ways, I'm learning to just blend my vegetables and fruits, and getting to, even if you add some honey inside, it is good to sweeten whatever you want to take into the body, other than taking natural processed sugar. It helps and it goes a long way. So thank you guys for your time and attention. Thank you for sparing your time to listen to me. Thank you for buying a bundle to just get to watch this video. And as always, subscribe and subscribe. Share these videos to your friends. Make me grow on YouTube. And at the end of the day, I'll owe it all to your support. Like this video, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys. See you in my next vlog. Bye.